Buenos dias. How's it going, everybody? My Osmo Pocket 3 users. I hope you guys are enjoying your Osmo Pocket in full auto. Much better. K&F wide angle lens today, guys. We're gonna go out for a walk, and I just found something out today, and I'll tell you a little bit about it here in a bit. But I am getting ready to go on this walk, so I will use the windshields. I do like to use the windshields when I go outside, just because it does make a big difference especially when you're walking and it's pretty windy out here in the Midwest. It just gives you a crispier audio. And honestly, apart from the cinematic look and all that stuff, I think if you have better audio, your video just feels a lot higher quality. And I put audio over motion blur. Let me put this on. Boom. Look how easy that is. DJI Mic Minis, guys. I like them a little bit better than the DJI Mic 2, just because I don't need internal recording for vlogging, and I just want a lighter setup. This is really tiny. It's just really light on my shirt too. It doesn't pull it down, and I really do like the design. I think it looks really cool, and it fits the vibe and style that I like. But let me go get some pants on, because we got shorts. Let's go. We are on full auto. You know me, Team Auto, hashtag Team Auto, DJI Pocket. By the way, my wife did help me reorganize my office to this corner of the basement, so now it looks really, really cool. I like my desk area. Got my little printer area over here, desk, and then I have like a 6 foot long rigging table that I'll pull this out, and then I just rig. I got my FX3s up there and all that stuff, so when I have to go on a job, I like to have a nice big area where I can just rig up my camera for the type of job that I need, and then I just go. Poor baby, it's just been sitting there ever since I got this, and then using this in auto. It's awesome. I'm still not gonna get rid of this, because this is my seat cam for weddings and events like that. And it's just, you know, if I ever get the itch for that cinematic vlog or whatever, then I'll just go and use that. Like I mentioned before, the Osmo Pocket in full auto. I'll keep saying it because there's new people probably watching these videos. But watch that video. You don't need filters, you don't need motion blur, you don't need any of that stuff to shoot this camera. Enjoy the adventures and make it about the story. I think that's more important, actually. So let's go get some pants on, go on this walk, and then I'll tell you the one thing I found out. Also, today's video is gonna be on color grading, but I'm gonna go a little bit on a walk. Let's get ourselves some fresh new footage, and that way we can have something new to work with, and also just to give you guys a different lighting situations to show you that this color grade is really easy. I hope you're not disappointed, because it's very simple. Guys, don't overthink the Osmo Pocket. Don't overthink it. It's a very simple camera. DJI made it this way. They made it for you to just pull it out and start filming with it like this. Let's go. This is the only thing I'm carrying. I do have the stand on it today, just to get a better hold off of it, but I usually rock this thing as small as possible because I like how compact it is. I got a little bit of time because today my kids have a Taekwondo test that I want to go and film, so it's cold today. Ooh, it's a cold one. But here, let's, whoa, is this on full auto? I think it is. It is. I forgot, I didn't switch it yesterday. I was doing a video on motion blur and the NDs. So the one thing I didn't know, I was using the freewheel ND filters, and I do have the K&F ones. And for some weird reason, I just thought that the K&F ones weren't stackable. But if you do get the K&F ND filters, they are stackable. So if you want to carry an ND filter, I say carry one, get the ND32. Honestly, I feel like that's all you need to keep that motion blur. Especially today, there's not a single cloud in the sky, and as you can see, so we got pretty harsh contrast situation here. But let's see, do we got, nope, we don't have the motion blur. Let's switch over to this. It is stackable on the wide angle lens, which that was my big gripe with this thing, was that I really love the wide angle look of the K&F lens. It's the widest lens, it's my favorite. 22 bucks, guys, on Amazon. Pick it up. It just is so much better vlogging with this thing. You don't have to hold your arm out so far, and I just love the wide field of view. Let me switch over. Let's get that motion blur going. Those people that still want to mess around with the cinematic thing, this walking vlog is for you today. We're gonna make it a little cinematic. All right, so we are overexposed. I just set it to 1/50th, and I got it to negative. Oh, there he goes. Look, I tried taking this thing off. It flipped and it touched my finger. So I'm pretty sure there's probably a finger smudge on it, but oh well. So there it is. We are on ND32, and my only problem with this is that, so it does stay on there, but the magnet is not like super strong, so the ND is constantly, it moves very easily. So like if you're moving around and you accidentally like bump the head of the camera somewhere, I'm afraid that ND filter is gonna move and yeah, just shift around. Now, I can't really see so much here on the screen. Let me see if I can turn up the brightness. Oh yeah, let's turn up brightness to 100%. There we go. But I think the ND is creating some sort of vignetting from what I see. This is the first time I've ever stacked this thing because I didn't know you could stack it with the wide angle lens. But I don't know if it's because the wide angle lens is obviously super wide. This ND is actually pretty thin. So I think that I read on the K&F website that if you put this ND by itself without the wide angle lens, you can actually just close. If you turn off the Osmo Pocket with the ND by itself, it should be able to go back to the normal position. So don't quote me on that. I believe I saw it on the advertisement. You can check on the link. I'm gonna put an affiliated link to this, all this stuff that I use, so that way Jeff Bezos or whatever his name is, that way Amazon can give me a couple dollars so I can buy myself some Chipotle, because if you guys watch the vlogs, you guys know I have a Chipotle addiction. And all the money I make from this, I'm gonna eat it at Chipotle. So if you guys wanna buy me Chipotle, I don't know if I'm able to do that yet. I don't know how to, I've sent a couple dollars to a few of my favorite creators on YouTube because, you know, it's cool. It's cool. If you appreciate the content of a creator, it doesn't matter if they're big or small, send them $1 or $2, buy them a coffee. It really means a lot to us. You know, even if we're not doing this, like I'm not doing this for the money or anything like that. I really do enjoy this. Vlogging has changed my life just in so many different ways, but especially mental health recently. I've been very stressed the past few years, just getting burnt out, and which led me to the Osmo Pocket 3 and just using it in auto and all that stuff. And today we got the motion blur going for you guys. It's just made things a lot easier, so you don't have to worry. You could just focus on the thing that we love the most, and that's creating videos like this. So, hey, how's it going? You know, getting out, getting some sunlight. I wouldn't have done this before, but now I can mix technology with walking around. And I am getting older, so I do want to start just taking care of myself. One of the biggest rewards on the mental health side of this is that I'm learning a lot about myself. Having to edit a lot of these videos and just hear myself talking and seeing how much more confident I'm getting with every video. It's just awesome to see. I hear from people, the encouragement, everything. I've also learned that, like, you know, sometimes we can think about all these things when you talk about them and you have an audience out there that relates with you, comments something back. The healing that happens within you is something that I just never thought I was gonna get from YouTube. I literally thought I was like, yo, I just wanna make some cool vlogging videos, teach some people a few things, but it ended up turning out more than that for me. And if you have been thinking about vlogging, go ahead and do it. Just start making videos. You should see the first video I've ever made. I had no idea what I was doing. I couldn't talk. My head would hurt. I almost wanted to quit after like the third video. I felt like it was taking forever, and I felt like I sounded stupid. I had about 5 views, 10 views maybe per video. And I just, you know, I felt like my thumbnails sucked. I'm not a good Photoshopper. Like, I don't do a lot of good Photoshopping. So if you notice, a lot of my thumbnails are like literally just a screenshot. Like, this might be a thumbnail for this video. I'll just do this. You know, or maybe I'll do this so that way there's motion blur. I don't know. I'll just grab a little screenshot, put some text over it, and call it a day. I am just in that spot, guys, where I want simple, and this is what I preach on this channel, is simplicity and have adventures. Enjoy the process, enjoy the filming, enjoy all of this stuff, because it makes it so much fun. And if you can get past the whole cinematic thing, I mean, motion blur, if you want to add ND filters, I guess it's not bad. If you want to keep slapping these things on and off every time you go inside a place or it gets dark or whatever, That's up to you. If you're comfortable with that and if motion blur is very important to you, then go ahead and do it, you know? I'm still trying to get used to it, but I still stand by my word. Auto is the best way to go and just way easier. Now, somebody had commented before on my last video, like, isn't putting the wide angle lens the same thing? No, it's not, because the wide angle I put on when I'm about to start filming, and then when I'm done filming, I take it off, where it doesn't break the flow and the connection and the things I'm doing in my actual filming process. It doesn't break that chain of like flow that I got going on when I'm doing these videos. Now, on the other hand, with NDs, if I'm going inside my house right now and I was talking to you guys about something, or inside my car, I'm gonna have to take off this ND filter. And then where do I put it now? Now I'm gonna have to take out this thing right here, and that's me. I only carry one ND filter if I have to, because I don't want to carry a whole pack of them. It's just like, okay, do I use ND8 right now because I'm inside the tree? Well, no. Do I use this ND? Do I use that? Like, I don't have time for that. It just makes things harder. So anyways, I just carry one ND32 in here. If you want to be still messing around with NDs, you can do that. The reason I keep one in here is because use it in a controlled environment. If you're sitting in front of your desk and you're about to do a talking head video, then use it there. You know, you have control lighting is never gonna change, and if you wanna set up all this stuff and get an ND and get the perfect image, then go ahead and do it. And that's what this thing is cool for too. This is the part where I start running out of air, guys, because like, it's uphill. Like, we're going uphill, and oh my gosh. And it's cold, it's like 25 degrees right now, so I'm switching hands not because I'm tired, it's because it's cold. I was looking at the Osmo Pocket 5, or Osmo Action camera. I like the feel that it gives for vlogging. Like, it's just like wherever you point it, you can pan super fast, turn it. It just feels very POV style. Where this is a little bit more stable and stuff like that. But honestly, I can get similar results with this. And from the videos that I've been looking at, the quality on this thing, I feel like it's way better. I feel like the Action 5 Pro is really meant for like action, obviously. Cameras that you can put on skateboards, snowboards, helmets, they're gonna get dirty. They don't have to have the highest quality image because you're moving so fast, you know? So again, guys, get the tool that is meant for the job and let it do the thing that it was meant for, you know? Stop trying to make these tools do other things that it wasn't designed for, and then we complain about them. I was one of those guys for this camera at the beginning. You know, I made a video returning this thing, talked about the negatives and said that I think this camera is meant to be used on auto. A couple of weeks later, I went back and picked it up again, tried it in auto, changed my life. Now I can't drop this camera. Look, we're gonna color grade this. Here, we'll get a straight sun shot like this, color grade this, and then let's get like a backlit view like this. You know, that way you can see the color grade and how it changes. Let's get something like this, looking out, boom. I'm gonna teach you guys the color grading process. I hope I don't disappoint you guys because it's not that hard. Keep it simple. You know what? I kind of like this, I really do like this vignetting that this ND filter is giving over here. And this is the ND32 by K&F with the K&F wide angle lens. So you can stack them, but they're kind of like, it's kind of wonky. Like, it doesn't stay straight. Let's see if I, see it just like, it slides down. Can you guys, it literally just slides up. It slides up and down very easily. But I mean, I don't know how many times, let me see, I'm gonna shake this. No, it doesn't move. I don't know how many times you're actually gonna like be shaking this thing or bumping it on things. I think it'll be fine, but I'm actually pretty happy that you can stack this ND filter on there. So that's the ND filter that I'm gonna be keeping on here for certain situations, or if I ever feel like getting that cinematic itch off, you know, or getting that motion blur, then we'll put it on. But other than that, like right now, I gotta take it off. So I gotta stop. Now I gotta take it off. Gotta get this out. This camera down. Let's take it off. And at least this one comes off a lot easier. And then it does magnetize really easily. In here, it fits very flush. If you guys can see, just fits perfectly on there. That's all you have to carry. I know people ask me, oh, sorry, let me switch to auto. I'm overexposed. There we go, guys. Now we're in auto. So here, look, you can see the difference right here. Look at this difference. Do you guys remember what the image looked like without the ND? Look at this. I feel like I'm way better exposed than when using ND. And then let's go over here. Let me go back to this harsh light real quick. This is just a wide angle lens. Like, look at this backlit situation. It's just way better. Look at this. I'm gonna look this way. I'm gonna give you the, let's do like a harsh sun. We're at -7 exposure. I just keep it at -7 for everything, guys. With ND and without ND, -7, it works really, really good. All right, let's get something like this again. I'm just trying to show you guys what the difference is when you have an ND and how this exposes without the ND. And I think that it does a way better job at exposing without an ND, and it gives you a clear image. Just use the wide angle lens and it's gonna give you that Action 5 pocket kind of view and you're set. Another setting that I didn't really talk about in my other video, maybe I'll do a video of like all of my settings on this camera. In order to get that Action Pocket 5 kind of view where you're like panning around like this and stuff, just set your gimbal to the fastest speed. And then I have it on the gimbal mode where wherever you point the screen, that's what's recording. If you set it on that, like it does a pretty good job. Like I can quickly switch this over and then I can just walk around like this and it's like, see, I can move around and it gives you that cool view. You can go like this, you know, like this, and it just gives you that action kind of style. Obviously, you're gonna get it a lot better with the Osmo Pocket or the Action Pro camera. Look at that, man, just so easy, so easy. Walk inside of my house, keep telling you guys the story. You guys ready for your belt test? Yeah. And it's just a lot easier. Now I'm going into a super dark basement, different light changes, and let's go back to our desk. Boom. Woo, that was a good walk. Now let's go ahead and get on with this color grading video. Let's transfer the footage and then we'll move on to the screen portion of this. All right, guys, we got the footage in. This is a clip here from the video you just saw with the vlog, and I'm gonna teach you how to color grade, or how I color grade my automatic Osmo Pocket settings. This is when I use it in full auto, and how I color grade and make the color just look seamless throughout the whole entire vlog. It is extremely easy, guys. I feel like I'm gonna disappoint you and I'm sorry, but it's actually very, very easy. I'm gonna teach you anyways because, you know, everybody's watching. Maybe you're a beginner, maybe you don't understand color grading, or you're just having trouble with it, but don't overthink it, guys. I'm here because I wanna make things simple for all of you guys, and so that you're happy with your Osmo Pocket, because it's an amazing camera and it has changed the way I think about it. So here we go. Here's a clip that I just chose from earlier today. Now the thing to remember is that we are already in Rec 709, so we don't need any conversion LUTs. This is very, very easy. The Osmo Pocket does a very good job at exposing and doing auto white balance, and literally like the computer in it is just amazing. So everything here is on auto. All my settings are on auto. We are on normal color profile. So we are on Rec 709, so we don't need to convert it. And then everything I work, all the coloring and everything is just literally one node. Very, very easy. So I usually start off with saturation. So I'm always between 50 and 60. The trick here, guys, with this normal profile, because it already has some color in it, is just very, very subtle changes, very subtle. So I like to crank this thing all the way up and then come back down and see in where I like it. I'm gonna land around 57 for this one on saturation. And I do like to add a little bit of color boost. I usually go like a +1 or 50, not too much. I don't know the difference between color boost and saturation. I just know that color boost is a little bit stronger in some areas. I can't quite pick it out, but I know that it does make a difference. So don't ask me don't ask me why, but I'm not a techie guy. This is just how I color grade. And a lot of you guys asked me on my previous videos that if I could do a tutorial. So here you go. This is just how I do things. I'm not a colorist, but I use a +1, 50 on color, and then I crank up saturation between 50 and 60. I don't really ever go past 60, because while you're in auto mode, if you go to high contrast situations, your colors are gonna be crazy punchy. And I think this is where a lot of people mess up on. So now that we have saturation on, I do like to bring down the offset, which is like kind of like the exposure, down a little bit more. Just a tiny bit, because even though I have my Osmo Pocket at -7, Sometimes it still tends to overexpose it just a little bit, but that's okay. I feel like I can recover a little bit of highlights, so I bring it down in post. And then I don't touch shadows. I bring down the highlights a little bit too, like -3 or so, just a little bit to help the offset. I don't want to over crank things. And then in terms of contrast, I add a tiny bit too. So here, we'll crank it up kind of high. That looks too punchy. So I'm going to come back down. I'm going to leave it at like a, let's just leave it at like this much, 1.05. And that looks good to me. Now let's go ahead and add some color. This is all up to you guys and what you guys like. I like to lean a little bit more on the warm side in the yellow, oranges, reds. That's just my own personal liking, and that's what I've been doing for years, decades of like coloring my footage. But I do add some cooler shadows, kind of like an orange teal look, but very, very subtle. And I try to keep it I try to make my best to make it look as natural as possible, and hopefully that's what I'm doing. But I'm gonna go to lift, because lift is your shadows, gamma is kind of like your midtones, gain is your highlights, and offset is kind of like an overall. That's just how I see things. So we're gonna go to shadows, and I'm gonna add a little bit of cyan to the shadows, and we'll leave it at that. And then on the offset, I'm gonna go over towards the orange and like reds. Let's add a little bit more contrast on. I feel like I need a little more contrast on this. And that's pretty much it, guys. That's how I color this. Here, let's look at before and after. Before, after, before, after, before, after. Very, very simple, guys. And then I'm gonna teach you a bonus thing here. It doesn't stop here. I'll add another node over that, and this is where I take off the digital sharpness. I am a big fan of diffusion filters, but I want to keep things simple on the Osmo Pocket, and I don't feel like buying diffusion filters or anything like that, because sometimes with diffusion filters, when you're out vlogging in different lighting situations, diffusion filters don't work that great. They look good with like neon lights and street lights at night, but in like vlogging situation where everything changes, you don't have a controlled environment, it can completely ruin your image, and then you're done. Like especially when you're backlit, like a scene like this window right now would have been all blown out in my face, and you don't want to be doing that. So you don't want to ruin your clip and ruin your video or a good part of the video because you had a diffusion filter on. So I always do everything in post, and I start off by going to blur down here and going down to radius, and then I only turn it down 2 points, 52. You can look at before and after. It's hard to see here, but it does make a big difference. You would have to do it yourself and check out the footage. You can go up to 53. It's about as far as I push it, or else it gets kind of weird. And then I make another node. It's kind of like a little bonus, and it's not really color grading, but it goes along with how I create this image. I like to use a plugin or a feature effect in DaVinci Resolve called Film Look Creator, and I drag that on there. And then what I do is you can actually leave it like this too. Like check that out. Like this is before and after, before and after. That's like getting more into that like dehancer, film-like look, grungy, some grain in there. You can do that. There's a lot of cool presets like the cinematic one, bleach. I like the cinematic one. See that one, like look how cool that looks. It just looks cinematic right away, immediately, boom. I don't really play around with those presets, so I do a clean slate. I like to keep a clean look, so I don't touch any of these settings. I just go down to halation, and I turn that down. I just add a little bit, and then here's if you want to do some diffusion, you can add a little bit on there. It doesn't do a lot. If you're used to dehancer, if you played around with dehancer, I'll make another video on that one. I do have dehancer. It's like a film emulation. That one is a lot stronger. If you use halation, it really does bloom things out. But here it's like very subtle. Sometimes I'll throw it through 100 and like you can't even, like it's barely visible. Like you can kind of see it in my eyes when I'm turning this up and down. So I usually keep it to like around 75, 80, and then I turn it up just a little bit. Remember, I just want this to be very, very subtle, guys. I don't want to make big changes. And that's just my own preference. This, you can honestly mess however you want. And then for grain, sometimes I'll throw in like a 65mm grain because it's very, very soft, but it gives the image a little texture, and it takes a little bit more from that digital look as well. So that's up to you guys, however you guys want to use that. But other than that, this is pretty much it. And then the cool thing is, let me show you something. So once you're done with that, let's go to our clips, and let's just say this is like the rest of the vlog. So what I do is literally I just hit Command C to copy this clip right here that we just graded, and literally I just highlight everything and hit Command V for paste, and there you go. I'm done color grading the entire vlog. That easy. That's how I do it. Look, we'll cycle through these clips. They're already ready to go. They already got my color grade and everything. Like even the outside ones, like they're ready to go. I don't have to do anything. See, it's the exact same grade. Here, I'll show you before. Here, I'll show you, like, sorry, I'm making weird faces on here. Like before. Do you guys see the difference? It's very subtle, guys. It's very subtle. I think sometimes we overthink things. It's exactly like my auto video with the camera. We overthink things of making it cinematic and everything like that. And you don't need to. Color grading doesn't need to be crazy. You don't need to like absolutely change these things. And like, you don't have to do too much. I think YouTube and all these cinematic vlogs and video vlogs, I think these creators, it's kind of like, I like what they're doing, but sometimes I get very annoyed because all those videos did to me ultimately was cause stress, because I could literally grade this one picture right here that you see and make it look, here, let's go ahead and make it look all cinematic, and then I could have easily, here, we could have just literally done this, and let's go here, turn down highlights, and maybe we'll turn down the exposure a little bit more if you wanted to. Maybe the contrast we could turn down a little bit more. Let's richness, what is this? This is probably like saturation. What is this right here? Okay, it's kind of like a bleach bypass. Let's see, let's do a white balance, a little fade, contrast, a little bit more exposure. Let's bring down the exposure. There, look at this, before, after. I could have literally done this and made a video and said, this is how you get cinematic shots. The problem is that if I was to apply this grade to the entire to the entire thing, these colors are not gonna look great across the board, I promise you. I've tried it already, and you'll walk through shadows and it just looks, it's gonna look horrible. Like here, let's see if we can maybe apply this. Where is it? Is there like I'm gonna see if there's another spot where I'm walking where it's like, for example, this spot right here. Like, look how dark that looks, and my skin looks blue now. Like, it just does it. And the thing is like, if you're like running like in these kind of situations, like it just doesn't look that good. It looks very muddy. Like right here, we're starting to lose all these weird, I'm getting some weird skin tones. It's just not, like, it's just not gonna look good. The bars make it look a little more cinematic, but I could have made a video like this and just said, this is how I get cinematic looks, and then all of you guys would have been going crazy trying to figure out how to freaking grade this thing. And the truth is, you don't need to do all of that. You don't need to do all of that. You can just literally do it the way I just showed you, and the videos look amazing and they look really good, and I don't have to struggle with all of this. With this way, you would literally have to almost color grade every single clip and adjust every single clip. With shooting auto, it allows you to just literally copy and paste the grade across every single clip, and because white balance is automatically being adjusted, you don't have to worry about that, so that makes things a lot easier. Anyways guys, that's pretty much it. I hope this video has helped you guys color grade your footage that's been shot in full auto mode and not stress about it, or at least I hope that it got the idea out of your head that you need to do this crazy heavy color grading and that you're doing something wrong because you're not. Now, I gotta get going. It's my daughter's birthday and we're gonna be going out to eat some sushi today. So I'll catch you guys on the next vlog. Stay tuned, subscribe, help a brother out, and peace. Happy vlogging, guys.